Hey everyone, Chris Lewis from Fox 47's Digital Newsroom. Excited to have you back again today. Today we have Ryan Fewins-Bliss, who is the Executive Director of the Michigan College Access Network. We're talking to him specifically today about some grants that have been made available to local communities as well as schools to be able to assist during the COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic. Ryan, thanks so much for being with us today.
Thanks for having me. Always happy to join you, even though it's from my home office.
Well, I think all of us are in that similar situation of having to try to figure things out in a new reality. And I love what the Michigan College Access Network is doing to be able to be at the forefront of that. Talk to me a little bit about these grants. What's the goal of these grants?
A couple of things. Really, we're trying to get out of the way of our school partners and community-based partners and higher ed partners so that they can do the critical work that's so important right now with students and families. I know I've got 3 kids, so I'm waiting every day for information from our school district. So we don't want to bother those folks with hey, don't forget about us over here, but we also want to be able to provide the resources that they need, when it, when they have identified what that is. And so we know that this COVID and coronavirus crisis is going to really affect the college going behavior. It's already affecting seniors in high school and juniors taking the SAT and orientations for colleges and people planning and making decisions about where they're going to go in the fall. I mean, just all of it, right, is really in flux right now. So we're really worried that students won't have as much support, that students will be feeling more anxious about going to school, whether that's to their local community college or to a 4-year institution in some other state. So we really want to open these grants up for any sort of mitigation of the COVID coronavirus, pandemic problem that we're seeing across the state and certainly the country. What are the creative ideas that school counselors are coming up with? What are the creative ideas that admissions offices are coming up with? What are the great ideas that the YMCA is coming up with to ensure kids can still access post-secondary this year in 2020?
I know that there are 2 specific type of grants. There's a mini grant as well as a little bit larger grant. And talk to me about who these grants are specifically geared toward.
Yeah, so we're offering $2,500 mini grants to school districts. We found that they often need smaller pockets of money to be able to mobilize more quickly, to be able to mobilize students and families and do what they need to do within their district right now. And then we're offering $10,000 sort of standard COVID mitigation grants is what we're calling them, to community-based organizations, higher eds, and arguably still K-12s if they need more money could apply for up to $10,000 to do, again, some of that creative programming to help students and families.
Now, in looking at these grants, it sounds like it's specifically geared toward both kind of seniors and juniors and trying to help them to figure out kind of the pathway for themselves to be able to prepare for that transition?
I'm not going to pigeonhole anybody, Chris. If somebody comes up with a great idea for high school freshmen to help keep them on the career planning path and the college planning path, we're happy to fund it. We really want to hear from school districts and others what they need from us and what they need from their community and their parents and students, and then mobilize the funding to them in an expedited manner so that they can get it quickly and put those things into practice.
For community-based organizations and schools that are interested in taking part in this and applying for this, how do they access the information, and what are the deadlines?
So there's an online application at www.micollegeaccess.org that they can access. It's like I said, an online application, web form they fill out, a portal that they enter. Really, they tell us what they're planning on doing. They give us a small budget, hit submit, and then our staff internally is going to do expedited review. Typically, it takes us up to 90 days to thoroughly review a grant application with the rigor that we think is important for our philanthropic dollars and our taxpayer dollars that we're spending. I still want to be clear, we're going to be rigorous and we're still going to make sure people are using money appropriately, but we're sort of clearing the decks of other work for our staff so that they can be able to review and respond to these grants very, very quickly.
Now, are there limits to the number of grants that you're going to be providing, either on the $10,000 or the $2,500 one?
That's a great question, and I just don't know yet. We're waiting to see what the response is. Basically, I'm mobilizing some funding from our key funding partners at the state of Michigan, the Ralph C. Wilson Foundation, the Kresge Foundation, folks that have just been incredibly kind and generous to us to be able to put money into this bucket. I imagine if we run out of money, I'll be able to knock on some of those funders' doors and ask them for some more support. I've seen lots of our philanthropic partners coming out of the woodwork to try to help people of all stretches and all places to do what they need to do. And education has obviously been a key piece of that.
Well, I appreciate you sharing all of this, and definitely commend the Michigan College Access Network for taking a stand and moving this forward, because, especially in these uncertain times, it's good to be able to have the ability to be able to support initiatives like this that continues to allow for students to be able to move toward the goals that they have for themselves.
I think that's really, really important. I just checked the portal before we started today, and we already have 25 applications in the portal, not submitted yet, but have started. So, and that's since Monday morning. So obviously there's a need for this. We're really happy that we can be a partner to provide that need.